More Primal. We just got new bonus material. I suspected last week. Hey, an interview with the band, 16 Volt. That's pretty cool. Last week I thought maybe today we'd be able to wrap up the game. That was based on the pacing that I had seen in the first two levels. The game has not maintained that pacing. We got Empusa. And I backed out of the entire gallery. We got a fair bit more of Primal to enjoy. The Devil, Belazor. Honestly, I was thinking the Devil would be Lewis. Shows what I know. We still don't know much about Lewis. In fact, we haven't heard a word from him since the opening cutscene. And we only caught a glimpse of him at one point. So, plenty more to get into there. Also, the instruction manual. Here we go. The instruction manual is a total of 45 pages long. And, like, it includes a pinup of Jen. You could turn this sideways and fold it out. You know, just have a big, gorgeous picture of Jen emerging from some water, looking like Lara Croft. Sorry, Laura Croft. And for some reason, this is the page of the manual that has a staple in it. I have a physical copy of the manual still. So I looked it up, and this is the center of the manual. And this is the next page. So even if you were to, like, pry the staple out, you wouldn't get a single poster here. You would get two separate images on two separate pages. You'd have to, like, glue them together rather than just having a nice, clean poster. In theory. Weird choice, given how many pages are available to them when they made the game manual. We'll take another quick look at the game manual later on, because there's 45 pages. Plenty more to see. But also plenty more Primal. Always more Primal. This is a lengthy video game. So let's get right back into it. Just finished the Etha chapter, which was fun and cool. One more chapter to go. Look at the lasers centering in on the orb in the middle. We're doing good progress. They're all turning yellow. I guess that's the color of order as we solve the problems in each area.
Whoa, where are we?
We are back in the Nexus, Jen. My Lady Arella has gone, it seems. Abaddon holds sway here. Come on, we have to get to Kronos. He must be protected.
Scree? Scree, where are you?
I'm right here. Keep going.
Scree!
Jen! Keep going!
Scree!
To meet a loved one, you must be alone.
Hey, you, turn around. I said turn around.
Speak of the devil. Oh wait, Lewis is not the devil.
Why? Why, Lewis? Every second since I've got to this godforsaken place, I've been praying I'd see you soon. And now I can't bring myself to look at you. What's happened to you? Louis! Louis, speak to me, goddammit! Louis, you can hear me, can't you?
A love lost. How careless. And you are lost. Hybrids belong nowhere.
What have you done to Louis?
Do you know who I am?
You're Abaddon, Lord of Chaos, and a complete jerk. I mean, believe me, I've never been like Little Miss Establishment, but what you are isn't chaos. It's greed. It's evil. You're just destroying everything.
Arella's lies are killing you. You have failed. I defy the one that made you. Lost. Jennifer. But never lost to me. Arella. 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 Where is your guardian now?
It's okay. Come on, Jen.
I was too late, Scree. It was Louis. He tore the heart out of Cronus. Killed him. It was awful. I don't know what's happened. He isn't Louis anymore.
Okay.
It's all over, Scree. It's all over. Abaddon's won.
My girl, stop that. Right. The best thing to do when things get as bad as this is to look at the facts. Agreed? Good. Fact number one, and top fact on the list. I am still alive. Agreed? Good. Fact number two, you're still here to take care of me. Thank goodness for facts.
It was horrible. Abaddon's everywhere.
But he hasn't won yet, Jen. Believe me, we have one last hope. Now you're not going to let him get away with all this, are you? What he's done to Louis?
No. I'm gonna kick his ass.
That's the spirit.
So, what's this last hope, Rocky?
Last hope. The last slim hope. The last
All right, a long shot, I got it.
lies in the realm of Volca.
Now, if I were Lewis's voice actor, I would be pissed. He's waited so long to show back up. Everyone gets their chance to shine in that big cutscene. But not Louis. Louis is still completely mute. Bummer. Good cutscene, though. I do want to learn more about Arella's lies. Because I have not trusted her this whole game. I hope she's backstabbing me. But for now, we continue fighting Abaddon and saving the clearly possessed Louis, who is without a personality of his own. May never have had a personality of his own.
You okay, big fella? Bit slow with the tourist guide this time.
You've been a brave companion, Jen. I'd say we've muddled our way out of some pretty tight corners, haven't we? Quite a team.
Scree, we've only just arrived.
Shouldn't we save our post-match analysis till we're out of here?
Of course, I think I'm simply trying to prepare you.
Not a big fan of this place, are you, Rocky?
None of my lady's followers would ever choose to be in Volca. But when I was last here, I was bound, hooded, rarely conscious, and tortured relentlessly.
Yeah, we got clubs like that back home. Sorry.
So, nice to be back.
What are we doing here, then?
I think it's our last chance. It is a formidable realm, the very essence of chaos. Abaddon won't have needed to lift a finger in Volca. And yet supreme strength lies here as well. The rulers of its cruel race, the Jinn, have terrible godlike powers, secrets which could be critical now that Kronos is lost to us.
You know, this is some mountain.
It's a volcano,
Good.
and we're going in.
Better still.
The Jinn are a ferocious race, Jen, and they live in tune with this volcano. While it's dormant, they're at their weakest, but their power builds up as the volcano heads towards eruption. And when this thing goes up, we better be long gone.
All right. Set off the volcano without us inside of it. Sounds like a goal to me. Is this an instruction manual on how to do that? I doubt it. So when we went through Etha, we left the place in quite a miserable state. The aristocracy still rules everything. Honestly, the realms of order were in such a sorry state because a demon had infiltrated their ranks in both instances and caused chaos to proliferate throughout the realm. These last two realms, they're just chaos-based. So, like, the best we can do is temporarily fending off what sucks about them. Okay, we can climb down, but we know Jen can't without a little help from her friend. There we go. But yeah, Etha was still really bad. Still quite doomed last time we saw it. This area, we are intentionally planning to blow it up. And it doesn't look like we will have anyone on our side. No underground Germans. No Elizabeth, the tortured daughter who hates her family. None of that. No one on our team. Besides Scree. I'd like to see Etha come into their own, take back the area, but even the, like, German oppressed people are awful. So there's no way to win in Etha. There's probably no way to win here. We got another sheer cliff face, which means we gotta pull the rope trick again. This level is pretty much all puzzles, no, like, political intrigue. Every other level has had some degree of politics and dealing with the residents in ways that doesn't involve murder. This is going to be much more video gamey than most of the other levels. Perhaps that's for the best. In fact, we have a bit of a change coming up that actually is for the best, I think. We'll see it quite soon. We're just gonna have to do multiple rope tricks. The level likes to, like, force you to do the same thing over and over again, even though you've proven that you do know how to do it. Over here, we can get a torch again. Okay. I was told about this a while ago. if you're near a hotspot but not actually like face first in it, if you tap X, your character will just sort of shuffle. But if you hold X, your character will move to the location of the hotspot and activate it. And I haven't been doing that. That would have made the water level a lot easier, had I realized that was the case. Now we just have a gigantic door and no instruction of what to do with it, but just a very fancy torch. Looks good on you, Scree. There are little troughs leading into these passageways that lead over here. And this is full of some kind of fuel. Fuel that leads into the double helix on the door. This is your clue to light it up. It's a little obscure. Honestly, I had to look this one up. But maybe actual humans figure this out on their own at some point. I doubt it. There we go. Door's open. Let's see what our prize is.
I can't see a thing. Oh, listen to that echo.
Yes, the chamber is of considerable size. The royal court resides here during the years of dormancy, awaiting the shift in the geothermal cycle that heralds the next active...
Hello, Volca!
What are you doing?
Checking out the echo.
The Jinn are a volatile, capricious people, Jen. They have almost limitless power, and they answer to no one. Can we try not to upset them?
You said they were dormant until the shift in the geothermal doohickey.
The geothermal cycle may be influenced by the simplest actions on our part, or even just our very presence here. We have to be extremely cautious.
Okay. Why is it so dark in here?
Well, they don't need light, Jen, not during the dormancy.
Oh! Yeah, well, I do. Give me that. Don't worry, one little lamp's not gonna...
Quit and wait. Who has dared disturb us while the mountain sleeps? I only hope you have not woken mighty King Iblis himself. Who are you?
Apologies, my lord. Keep quiet. If they learn that we are on the side of order, we are as good as dead. I am a servant of Abaddon, Lord of Chaos, and am here on my master's behalf.
Is that so?
My lord Abaddon considers King Iblis to be an invaluable ally. He holds your king in the highest esteem.
The king has no love for any of those from the Nexus, including your Lord of Chaos, I believe. But then, the king is not necessarily altogether wise, is he? A stranger, for example, arriving with harmful intent towards the king, might be welcomed by some. The stranger would only have to let it be known, and he might find friends in the court, a way of reaching the ear of the queen, even. A more deserving sovereign, some would say. Well? But I see you have a hybrid. A rare jewel indeed. I am told they have many unique powers.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Scree.
I should like a hybrid of my own. You will sell me this one, eh?
I would be doing you a disservice, sir. That hybrid is very lazy and none too bright.
No? It looks acceptable.
Oh, I know my hybrids. I could bring you a better one another time, but this one is lame, a burden to be seen with. Aren't you? You see, feeble-minded.
If I were you, I would beat some sense into it.
Oh, I shall. Later.
Not for sale, as you wish. But she will be of little use to you here, not in her current form. A small gift to help you on your way.
Folks just say it with flowers.
I trust your stay in our kingdom will be illuminating.
That was close. Are you all right?
Sure. Except I'm a burden to be with, apparently.
Well, of course not. Had to say something.
Okay, we are going to have a little bit of political intrigue. And, of course, our final transformation. Looking good on you, Jen. Her skin is now made of steel or something. And that's about it. She has like a cool Iron Man face. Otherwise, still not monstrous enough. So, I was saving this. Here in the instruction manual, we also have high-quality drawings of all the transformations. Look at how cool they look. But still, they could look way more monstery. And Jen clearly is not on fire when she's a Jinn. Jen the Jinn. If she looked exactly like that, I'd be a little happier. There we go, I just wanted to enjoy these. The PS2 could not do full justice to these doodles. Unfortunately. They did pretty good justice anyway. So let's test drive our new transformation. Not here, though. This place is empty. Here in the realms of chaos, everyone just wants to kill everyone, so we are going to, I guess, cause a revolution. Which we were supposed to do last time and didn't. This time it should be easier, because everyone wants to kill everyone. Certainly is very elaborate. Hey, look, an enemy. We're just gonna kind of hang out. There we go. It now wants to kill me. Look at how many there are. For our first combat encounter. Like 20 little sinker monsters. So here's the gimmick of the Jinn transformation. We have dual daggers, but if we hold the circle button, we will transform our weapons and have a completely different attack style. Luckily, these monsters do not require execution, and they have very low HP. Why couldn't all the combat be like this? Our double dagger's pretty strong, but the other form is a mega sword. It attacks pretty slowly. I don't know about this attack arc. This enemy might just be invincible. I don't know what's going on here. There we go. One-hit kills with the Mega Sword. Why couldn't we have gotten this transformation so much sooner? Combat is now fun. It's really satisfying to land a clean heavy attack. And rewarding. Oh, we should have been able to do this the whole game. But at least we can do it now. We might end up liking this chapter. I don't want to speak too soon. But it's possible. I liked all the previous chapters, but we might enjoy this from a gameplay perspective even. And that's a new thing. Yeah, it's true. We talked about Dark Souls references throughout this game, but now we have a trick weapon. Bloodborne stole it from Primal. Confirmed. Here in the Circle of Soot. It's not called Soot here in this fantasy world. I think there is a weapon in Bloodborne that transforms from like a little blade into a gigantic Final Fantasy VII sword. Could be said that the Jinn transformation weapon is comparable in nature to such a thing. Not only can we one-hit kill these enemies, we can also knock them into the water in the center, which instant kills them as well. But also the enemies are not nearly as spongy as any of the previous ones we've had to fight. Like, even the Maokai back in the first level didn't have this small of an HP pool. Maybe these things have really high HP and we're just dealing preposterous damage with our fire swords. But whether it's a matter of relativity or we actually just have weaker enemies here, it's nice. And I no longer dread combat.
I'll need Scree to help me with this.
It's still janky. The animations are silly,
Come on, move it, damn it.
but they're okay. As usual, it's just a ton of new animations. In fact, twice as many new animations as usual, because we have 2 different weapon types. I don't know how that sprinkly guy survived.
Just stand there watching, help me out here.
And finally, Scree is going to help us with the door. I don't know why I needed to try it 3 times to get Scree to actually move. But there we go. Scree has moved. Hey, we got a big phoenix statue. And a pit of lava that is a little bit difficult to negotiate.
What's next then, Scree?
Looks like we need to cross that lava. Do those statues control a bridge mechanism?
Thanks for spelling it out. It's talking about that statue there. You'd almost think we could possess it from here, because it's pretty close. But no, we actually have to go touch it. Otherwise, Scree cannot take it over and form a bridge. I have not beaten this game before. I've been playing it since 2003. I rented it multiple times. And every single time, I did not get to the conclusion. And even as of this moment, I have not beaten the entire game. But I will soon. We're near the end. Take a stop at the Scree Bank. I find the puzzles, such as they are throughout this game, to be really obtuse. And they often broke my brain. I was unable to make progress before the advent of FAQs. Which FAQs did exist in 2003, I just wasn't good at using them. 2003 being the first time I played this game. I've been dying to do a full playthrough of this game for so many years. Like 2014
It must be locked from the other
is when I
side.
first came up with the
We're
idea
not getting in this
to do a full playthrough of Primal. And I'm just now finally getting to it. And it is meeting expectations. Like, it could have been a complete catastrophe. All I knew was the first level before starting this full playthrough. So it was a bit of a risk to commit to the entirety of this very long game. I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm having a blast. Like, this is not a fun game, But it's still a good game. I like the flavor so much. I'm still really into it. And I don't know if I've just gotten to speak the language of the game better, or if the puzzles have just gotten easier to understand at a glance. But even in my practice runs, I haven't really hit any brick walls in a long time. More like some stick walls. Maybe some hay walls. In Three Little Pigs terminology. So we turn the crank and that opens the gate. We go swimming again. This counts as unpolluted water, so I do believe our health should refill automatically while we're down here. There's the next gate. You can tell there's a certain number of teardrops on each gate. So when you see them in the cutscene, you know which one you're opening. And here's the one with 3 teardrops. Let us get it open. We had the series of transformations. Making the fish suffocate on land is kind of an unnecessary time waster. There have been several instances where the game would just have a better flow if that weren't the case, but this game's flow and pacing are kind of abysmal. I'm used to that as well, but they really could have been better. Okay, that opens the 1-tier door. We're trying to open the 3-tier door. Let's pull the crank again. This cutscene's a little busted. I assume it's an emulation error, because the PS3 is really bad at emulating stuff. But the 1-tier door is locked again. Seems to be a binary choice at play here. Honestly, when I played this last, I didn't figure the puzzle out. I just kind of brute forced it. But there are so few options that brute forcing it is not, like, a ridiculous deal. There are the 2 levers. I think we want this lever in this position. And I think that closes the 2-tier gate, but opens the 1-tier gate. But now that this door is open, we can still travel between areas that were otherwise only accessible via the water. So if we have the 1-tier gate open and the 2-tier gate closed, and then we turn the switch again, maybe the 3-tier gate will open as well. It's like a math problem. These, turns of the pulley thing are solving math problems. They're doing addition behind the scenes. And I'm not privy to exactly what is adding up to what, but I think I have the basic gist of it down. Go through here and hope that I figured it out properly. Not entirely sure that I surfaced in this section. Let's find out. Every section with a steering wheel does look about the same, so there's no real landmark to know which one you're in at any given time. But there we go. 3 tiers is open. They did make it a plot point that Jen just can't swim, which means she can't even touch water. She can't tread water. She cannot, like, grab onto the side of any body of water and just hang on for dear life in order to transform. She can only transform into Undyne when she's completely out of water. Then she learns how to swim. Then she hops in. You'd think, like, being such a good swimmer when she is an Undyne would teach her how to do the basics of it when she's human. Because the skills, at least, should transfer over, even if the water breathing does not. But no, Ben is not a fast learner sometimes. 3-tier gate is open, and right here. In we go. Up we go. A new land to explore. However, Jen doesn't need to be here. Jen can go back in the water. Scree needs to be here. Cannonball. The torch, surprisingly, did not survive being submerged. And we have a little breadcrumb trail of lodestones to follow. For some reason, Scree is generating bubbles as he moves around. Scree is not typically depicted as breathing. And the fact that he doesn't breathe is why he's able to just wander around in the water. So bubbles shouldn't really be a thing here. But it's not like they're coming out of his mouth. The water is just so incredibly oxygenated that any movement inside generates bubbles. There is, not water, but liquid in the real world that is so highly oxygenated that even a submerged mammal will be able to breathe effortlessly once their lungs are completely full of the liquid. Press X to pull the lever. Very important tool tip. But yeah, there's a scene in the movie The Abyss where a rat is completely submerged in this weird fluid. And the rat, after freaking out a little bit, just starts breathing. No problem. And that shot was done with practical effects. The rat was literally submerged in this oxygenated fluid. And thus really was breathing. Even though it seemed like some impossible sci-fi nonsense. So that spread one wing of the Phoenix. All that work. This Phoenix has 2 wings. So we gotta go solve another puzzle. Because we can climb up there now, but you can see the other wing doesn't go anywhere. And that's unacceptable. There's the other statue leading to that entrance. The entrance is completely surrounded by lava on all 3 sides. So somewhere over here, somewhere over there specifically, is where we need to go. And luckily there's a big brick wall. Scree, climb the brick wall. I know you can do this. I've seen you do this. And 10-point landing. Jen can sit tight, because we are going to need 1 more lodestone. I don't know if there are any more statues I need to possess anywhere else in the game, but we can definitely possess the next statue at least. we might be all set for lodestones. We never got progress blocked by the existence of a poorly thought out mechanic like lodestones. It's really easy to avoid getting progress locked like that. Such that I don't know why they even bothered. Oh. I made an error, of course. But I can correct it. I won't have to do the rope trick again, but I do gotta head back down. My torch was extinguished. That's unacceptable. We have another fire door. There is a torch right here. I just skipped a step. But we're back on track. Attaboy, Scree. Just about where we need to be. Looked like Jen was waving at Scree there. Also, we've seen that Scree can sneeze, so even though he doesn't need to breathe, he can have nasal issues. And his hearing seems to be performed via organic functionality, such that when he loses one of his ears, he is in trouble, like his hearing is reduced. I probably should have tried stabbing these things with the dagger to see if, like, their health still reduced at a reasonable rate. Let's make a mega sword. I love this sword. I just wish... I mean, we can hit multiple enemies with the spin move, but it's very improbable. The hitbox on the spin move is actually just like a straight line directly in front of you. And when you break contact with an enemy, you put the sword away. So then you need to initiate combat again. Then you'll bring out the double swords, which in this case is going to be fine. You can stun lock this guy, who better not kill me. I need a health fountain. Screw you, drain these corpses. We're lucky that these cinder people even have energy in their corpses. Sometimes the weaker enemies do not provide energy when they die. But these incredibly weak enemies do. That is a tarot card. You gotta get tarot cards when they're this impossible to miss. Like, that is not even hidden. I think they might have run out of ideas for where to hide tarot cards this late in the game. Way back in the first chapter, they actually were well hidden. You'd have to go to unique areas. That would often involve significant amounts of exploration to get to them. Now, just lying on the ground. And then the last level, they were just in chests, most of which were all over the place. Very easy to find. It was only through my own intentional ignorance of their location that I didn't find them. Because I didn't care. This game, a little slow-paced, I might have mentioned. Hope Jen's fireproof. No, of course not. No surprise there. You can see little gaps in the firewall. So, Jen's going to shift into hacker form and take down that firewall. Oh, I forgot. So I mentioned last time, where you transform affects how quickly you transform because of what assets are loaded in the area. This firewall causes a lot of lag on its own. So if you transform in the same room as the firewall, you are in for a slow as molasses transformation. But we can stop time. It's not even clear that we did stop time. There we go. We're back in action. Jen, stop touching the fire. There we go. It's just that easy. And turn off the fire in midair. I assume actual hardware would also have really bad slowdown there. But that is nothing compared to my practice run. I made the exact same mistake on my practice run of this level. And the slowdown was exponentially worse. It took over a full minute for that transformation to resolve. I assure you, this time was not nearly as bad as last time. This is easily bypassed by simply leaving the room, transforming elsewhere. Because it's the combination of transformation and the firewall taking up too many memory assets. Like I said, I don't know if I will need any more lodestones. I don't think I will need any more lodestones. But just in case, I'll take one lodestone. They're everywhere, because if you came in here with not enough, you would have to backtrack to the preceding level, or one of the preceding levels. You can teleport back to any of the levels you've beaten, I believe. Some monsters just showed up. And I'm still a Wraith. That's not acceptable. But that was a pretty clean whip. And it did not do much damage. Like, it did about as much damage as these dagger stabs. I'm gonna leave this area. There's an energy fountain on the other side of the bridge we just built. So when I get over there, I can have a full heal. Don't need to worry about enemies. Scree is draining corpses right now. And Scree will have to drop a rope for me. I guess there was only one Cinder monster? That doesn't seem right. I thought I heard a second one rumbling around. There are times when the Wraith weapons are capable of knocking a large percentage of an enemy's health bar off, but they seem to be weaker than the Farai claws. At least in terms of DPS. I think individual strikes are comparable to those of the Farai claws, but the Farai claws are much faster than the whip and the glow stick that the Wraith uses. So combat was at its sloggiest in the Etha chapter. Which is unfortunate, because it was a good chapter. Well designed in every other way besides the combat. I like that chapter. But I'm liking this chapter more. So this might end up being my favorite chapter of the game. Undyne was definitely the worst. But even then, it's not like the worst. It was just the worst in a game of fairly bad gameplay. The left-hand swing is deadlier. It's a little faster, and it definitely does a lot more damage. Against individual opponents, our attacks can be interrupted. Scree decided to drain the thing on his own. I don't remember ever seeing him do that before. And I used one of my one-ups, but honestly, that's fine. Undyne was missing a little HP because there's no way to transform out of being an Undyne while you're still in the water. Being out of the water as an Undyne costs you HP. Bit of a catch-22. I have not been Fair Eye in quite a while, except to solve one puzzle where I got the bones of some murdered aristocrat, who's probably a horrible person themselves, but we've seen there are tiers of how horrible an aristocrat can be. This level, as far as we can tell, everyone seems equally horrible. We keep seeing fire autonomously flying into various locations in the area. It seems to be what awakened the guard that gave us the Jinn powers in the first place. Are you saying you played as Cousin Eddie on the PSP version of Twisted Metal Head-On? Because, that is not a good idea. They, like, improved the way... Actually, they made Cousin Eddie slightly worse in the PS2 version.
It's a bit dark in there.
But they changed the design of Cousin Eddie when they ported the game over. The playable version. The AI version is the same as it ever was. So here we have a new enemy type. A raptor man with a big cannon. He looks pretty cool. And we have absolutely no reason to fight him. I am going to get Scree over here. Jen should be safe from combat for a while, relatively speaking. So I'm going to break from combat and run away. This room is a dead end. The only thing in here is the teleport gate. So we have opened a shortcut. I love that guy's cool, like, flaming scepter that he tries to attack you with and fails. So, goodbye, terrible guard. This is... Oh, I did it again. This one's not as bad. For some reason, the smaller fire gate causes way more lag. But this one still causes some lag. That smaller fire gate, though, is like concentrated slowdown. Your window of opportunity to get through here is actually very, very small. So you have to start slowing down time in advance. There we go. Don't want to be a Wraith anymore. I do think we're going to be forced into combat coming up here. In this elaborate gazebo. Here's some unavoidable slowdown. These fire tendrils take up way too much memory. This, I have to imagine, is definitely an emulation error. I don't think the PS2 version would have shipped with that kind of slowdown. Especially because this is a very, very high budget game. Like, the production values are through the roof on this game. And on actual legitimate PS2 hardware, it looked and played beautifully. But any game of this era is going to have slowdown. There's only so much optimization they could do. And the PS3 is bad at emulating everything. PS3 is a very bad console. Astoundingly bad. I love it. I love how bad it is. I love bad things, though. Just get a first strike on the Cinder people. They're as good as dead. Then there's more. Of course there's more. Let's play with some dagger combos. I haven't even attempted to do the sword combos, because the sword is usually one-hit kill. There we go, there's one of the sword combo moves. Oh, I missed the third strike. Every combo has 3 strikes to it, and each strike can be either light or heavy. Ooh, good damage yell there. Cena actor. Hitbox on this spin move. Super weird. That's not our official spin move, though. Our official spin move looks like this. Spin the other direction. Counterclockwise spin. Oh, and there's a unique attack that you do when you hit both triggers. And the unique attack can also be light or heavy. And it can combo into other moves. I'm honestly not sure why the Cinder people are giving me this much trouble. In my practice run, I was just easily cutting down swaths of them. It was fun and effortless. Fancy free. There we go. Problem solved.
Enough! You have proved yourself a savage and brutal fighter hybrid. I am glad you are fighting for me rather than against, as was this fool's intention.
What's that supposed to mean?
Silence! The hybrid is mine now. This one still lives, hybrid. Cast him into the pit.
Which just shows how little you know. Jen? What are you doing?
Out of the way.
Jen, look at me. What have you done to her?
The gift I bestowed binds her to me. She no longer knows you.
No! The king will hear of this, and he'll hear of your scheming, the way you tried to enlist us in some plot to overthrow him.
The king? You fool! I am the king. I am Iblis.
Oh no, the Iblis trigger. We found him. And this is Sparta.
No!
There we go. Got all my references in. So, Jen did too good of a job. Now, she has been stolen by the evil Iblis trigger. And she is separated once again from Scree. Sort of like what happened towards the end of the last chapter. But this is still the beginning of this chapter. We have much more to do, much more to see. That's it for now, but next Wednesday I will stream the remainder of Primal. I'm gonna get to the end of this thing. Right now, Scree is in here in the death pit. His only friend betrayed him against her own will. But we'll find a way to knock some sense into her and save the day again. Jen has no energy or her evil Djinn form. You'd think Jen would be great at being a Djinn. Shows what I know. There we go. Thanks as always for tuning in. It's been more Primal. We're coming up on the end. You gotta tune in next time.